Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is going to be ayah number 59, surah number 7, named Surah Al-Araf. In this section, the surah will give us snapshots of the stories of Prophet Nuh and his people, Prophet Hud and his people, Prophet Lut, Prophet Saleh, Prophet Shu'aib, some of the prophets mentioned by name in the Quran. So the common thread is that all will be guiding people to the worship of Allah and deterring them from associating anyone in worship with Allah. No one is equal, no one is to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a common thread. The common thread in all of these stories also is that very few people of any community would believe. Very few people of these communities would believe. And in those days, prophets would come in like one and two, and in some cases, droves of prophets would be sent to same or neighborhood communities. So the first story is the story of Prophet Noah. Ayah number 59. Indeed, we have sent Prophet Noah to his community. And he said, O my people, worship Allah, you have no God but Him. So the term God means someone who deserves to be worshipped. And because there is no God, Allah is the only one who legitimately ought to be worshipped. Why? Because He is the creator and He is the one in control of the whole universe. So He did not create the universe and left it to run on its own or to be managed. He created the whole universe and He is in control, He is managing, He is providing for the whole universe. Nothing moves without His will. Nothing lives or dies without His will. So Noah told his people, O my people, worship Allah, you have no God but Him. I am very concerned, I am afraid for you regarding the torment of a grave day. Then the elite, ayah number 60, the elite of his community said, we see you have gone far astray. Clearly, you've gone far astray. 61, he says, my people, there is no stray in my belief or my conduct. I am a messenger from the Lord of the universe. I communicate to you the message of Allah, and I admonish you, and I know from Allah that which you do not know. Very clear message. I have not gone astray. There is nothing stray in me, and I am a messenger from the Lord of the universe. What do? I communicate to you, I convey to you the messages of my Lord, and I advise you, I admonish you, and I know from Allah what you do not know. Have you been amazed that a reminder has come on Lord via a man from within yourself to warn you, and so that you may act righteously and protect yourself? so that you may receive the mercy of Allah. Ayah number 64, they belied him. They belied him, and we have saved him and those who are with him in the ship, and we've drowned the ones who belied our ayat, for they definitely have been. See, these short 6 ayat between 59 and 64, they finished the story of Prophet Noah with his people. Definitely the story has details, but this is the summary that you get. Okay? And all messages that came to people from Allah and all messengers have communicated one and the same message. Worship Allah, you have no God other than Him. Then they will receive rebuke and malignment and mockery and rejection from the people. Then they will declare that we are only messengers from Allah to communicate the message of Allah to you and to give you guidance so that you may receive the mercy given to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when they reject him, finally, Allah would save the messenger, would save the believers who followed him, and he would doom and destroy the others, as it happened in this case. Ayah number 65 starts the story of the Prophet Hud, who was sent to the people of Ad, A-A-D. Prophet Hud came to his people and he told them, my people, worship Allah, for you have no God other than Him. Don't you feel, don't you want to be protected from His wrath? Then Ayah 66, the elite who have disbelieved amongst His people said, we see that you are a foolish person, and we think that you are one of those liars, meaning he said, O my people, I have no food, but I am a messenger from the Lord of the world. I communicate to you and convey the messages of my Lord, and I am an honest advisor for you. Have you been amazed or shocked that a reminder has come unto you from your Lord via a man from within yourself to warn you? And remember, as Allah has made you successors or heirs after the people of Noah, and He has given you powers in your body and in your creation. So remember the bounties of Allah, you may be winners, so that you may win, or be salvaged, or saved. The response, ayah number 70, they said, have you come to us so that we worship Allah alone and we leave whatever our parents used to worship? Bring us whatever you threaten us with, if you really are truthful. If you are truthful, bring us the warnings, the torment that you promise. Bring it on. In ayah number 70, as he says to them, have you come to us so that we worship Allah? I want you to pay attention to this. To worship alone. They fully understood the message. That the message is about monotheism, the worship of the only one who deserves to be worshipped, which is Allah. As such, he said, yes, of course. Do you want us to leave whatever our parents and forefathers used to worship? And the answer is, of course. I want you to worship the one who created you. Then they said, you know what, a liar, bring us whatever you warned us against. Whatever threats you have threatened us with, bring them on. And number 71, he said, indeed, a very severe wrath and punishment and torment has already befallen you from your Lord. Do you argue with me about names that you have named, you and your forefathers, of which Allah has given you no authority? So wait with me, and I am among those who are going to be waiting. So this is the final warning. This is the final word. Ayah number 72, Allah, we saved him and those who are with him. The word here is who are with him. So it is not enough to just be a believer and stray away. If you become a believer, you stick with your prophet, you stick with his teachings, and you stick with the community of the believers. Because a stray person is an easy prey for the Satan. So Allah says, we saved him and those who are with him by a mercy from us. And we've cut the tails of those who belied our ayah, meaning that we have destroyed them. We completely cut them so they are no more. And when it says that we've cut the tails or the back end of these people, it means we've destroyed them to the last one. And they were not going to believe. And they were not believers. Again, in those few ayat, we got the story of Prophet Hud and his community. Every community will have those few ayat to tell us what is the message, what was the response, what was the punishment, and what happened to those who deny or to believe. Ayah number 73 will bring us another story about Prophet Saleh. Saleh. And to Thamud, Thamoud, to Thamud, Thamoud, brother Saleh. He said, O my people, worship Allah, for you have no God other than Him. The same exact message of the previous two prophets. Indeed, a sign and a proof has come unto you from your Lord. This she-camel is Allah's she-camel, and Allah has brought it unto you as a sign and a miracle from His. So leave it to eat in the land of Allah, and don't harm it with any harm, lest He will take you with painful torment. And remember, as He has made you successors after the peoples of Ad, and He have given you power and place on the land, in the land, in which you take out of its valleys places to build palaces, and you carve homes for yourself out of the mountain sides. So remember the bounties of Allah and do not roam the earth spreading mischief and corruption. So obviously, Saleh, the Prophet, was guiding his people, and as he was inviting them to worship none but Allah, he also was telling them how much Allah has blessed them with, giving them mountain tops and mountain sides to carve homes high up. And in the valley where water and the green are available, He gave them the power, the knowledge, and the means to build palaces and lavish homes for themselves and their families. And at the end of Ayah 74, He says, so remember the bounties of Allah and do not the earth spreading corruption and making mischief. Ayah 75, the arrogant elite of his community told him, speaking to the helpless followers, those who them, do you know that Saleh is indeed sent from his Lord, sent by his Lord? The helpless, poor believers who are following Saleh, they believe in what he was sent with. The arrogant elite responded by saying, we disbelieve in what you have believed in. Look, then they killed the she-camel, and they disobeyed their Lord. And they told Saleh, Saleh, bring us whatever you promised us if you are truly one of the messengers. And they were taken by the shark. They were taken by the shark. Let me get the portion here. They were taken by the shock of the earthquake underneath their feet. And by the next morning, they were lying dead in their homes. Do you imagine what happened? The earthquake came, definitely destroying all of what they had, and dead, all of the disbelievers, all at once. And they became like frozen dead on the spot. So Saleh, ayah number 79, turned away from them, saying, O my people, I have delivered my Lord's messages unto you, and gave you sincere advice, but you seem not to like who advise you with the best. That's the finish of the people of Saleh. Story, the message, the response, and the punishment. The message, the response, and the punishment. After that comes the story of Prophet Lot, L-O-T, ayah number 80. And Lot, who came to his people and said, how could you practice this outrage, this shameful act of homosexuality? He ever has done this before you. Indeed, you lust after men rather than after women. Indeed, you transgress all bounds. You know, you cross all boundaries. You are an excessive people. The only response, ayah number 82, the only response from his people was to say, kick them out of your village, get them out of your town. These men want to keep themselves chaste and pure. Can you imagine a community that is conspired together, all of them, to lead a life of men lusting after men? And when a man comes from them that they know who he is, and he gives them the message of Allah, admonishing them to quit and to stop and to get back to the normal behavior that is given them upon their creation, that there is and sexual relationship ought to be between a male and a female in the context of marriage. They wouldn't heed the message or the warning. So they decided to kick him out. He and those who believed in him, to kick them out of their village, their town. So the answer is, ayah number 83, and we saved him, Allah says. He and his family, except for his wife, because she was left among those who were left behind. Because she supported them. She supported the disbelievers. She didn't believe in Allah, even though she was the wife of a prophet. So we've saved him and his family except for his woman. She was among those who were left behind. And what was the promise? Ayah number 84. And we've showered upon them, meaning the disbelievers, a rain of destruction, a rain from hellfire, a rain of stones and rocks that are picked from hellfire and showered upon them. When the ayah uses the word shower them, it means no one of them could escape. No one of them could escape. And while this was a rain shower of stones from heaven full of destruction, each stone was marked with the person it will hit. So it goes by name. divinely guided. I'm not going to say laser guided, but divinely named after person of them. So he rained upon them rain of stone. So look and see how was the fate of the criminals, describing their act as a crime and their rejection and disbelief as a crime. Ayah 85 talks about Prophet Shu'aib.
So, can I ask a question? I'm sorry to interrupt. I was watching that documentary. As I'm watching, it's a documentary about Lot. Where is her? Where that happened. And I was like, really? That's true? And they showed it clearly. And they had evidence left over where the salts had showered down, and they said it was limestone all around. And I was like, really? That true? And I really didn't know. So is that the same?
It was not limestone. It was stones from hellfire. Limestones are soft and they break down when they hit something. But those stones were stones who were hardened in fire. Okay. Now the story moves to another community, the community of Prophet whose name is Shu'aib.
Can you spell it?
Shoaiyb, Shu'aib. He came unto his people, or he was sent unto his people, the people of Midian, Median. And he said, O my people, worship Allah, for you have no God other than Him. The same message. Clear evidence and signs have come unto you from your Lord. Give full measure and weight, and do not undervalue people's goods. Do not cause corruption in the land after it has been set in order. This is better for you if you are believers. Very straightforward message, prohibiting unjust trade practices and ordering them to be fair in practicing their business and exchanging with people, that they should do not undervalue or shortchange people for their goods. They should not spread mischief and corruption in the land after everybody. This is better for you if you truly believe. And do not sit in every pathway, threatening and preventing from the way of Allah the people who believe in Him. It is like bullies staying around the corners to harass the believers and to make them fear from crossing the pathways where the disbelievers are. And all what you want is to make it crooked. And remember that once upon a time you were a few, and He made you many. And look back to see the fate of those who spread. Very important. And if some of you believed the message that I have been sent with, and others did not, then just hold on to your patience until Allah rules and judges between the two sides. And He is the best of judges. The arrogant elites from the ones who disbelieved, they said to Prophet Shu'aib, we will drive you out of our land, out of our town, those who believed with you, or else you will come back into the fold of our faith. He said, even if we detest it, even if we don't like it, indeed, if we were to return to your religion after God had saved us from it, we would be inventing lies about Him. There is no way we could return to it again, unless it be permitted by the will of Allah. Allah has encompassed every knowledge there is, and on Him and only Him we rely, and only in Him we put our trust. O our Lord, judge between us and our people in truth. Expose the truth. Make the truth clear between us and our people. You are the best judge. Then the elites of those who disbelieved of His people, they said to the believers, if you follow Shu'aib, you are losers. What happened? The punishment. Ayah number 91. An earthquake seized them, and they were seized dead in their tracks, in their homes. As you have seen, every community receives a very clear message. They take their time to discuss and argue. They take their time to make a decision. They split into a group of believers and a group of disbelievers. And the disbelievers challenge the messenger that he is not truthful, he is lying, he has gone astray. Why don't we follow our religion of our forefathers? And then they challenge the prophet or the messenger to bring punishment upon them, as he has warned them. And the punishment surely comes, and it takes them out. So the conclusion of this here comes in two ayah 92 and 93. Those who have rejected Shu'aib and belied his message, they were doomed and demolished as they have never existed. Those who belied Shu'aib were the losers at the end of the day. And 93, so he went away from them, left them behind, and he said, "O my people, I have communicated to you the messages of my Lord, and I have admonished you, I have advised you. How come now I grieve for people who refuse to believe?" The lessons from those stories come to us in ayah number 94 and 95. and 96. We'll go over them very quickly. So ayah number 94, and we have sent no prophet into any village without taking by destruction those who disbelieved and by harmful things, so that they may come in humility and submission, so that they may humble themselves. Then we changed their hardship into prosperity until they multiplied and grown powerful. But then they said, hardship and affluence all our forefathers. So we took them suddenly while they don't even feel it. So when the people of Lut saw the clouds coming, they thought it's normal clouds coming with rain, coming with water. But Lut told them, no, this is the punishment that you have challenged and wanted. So when the clouds arrived, and they were saying, this is our normal rain coming. Yeah, we've seen those clouds before. But when the heaven opened, it was not water coming down. It was rain shower of hellish stones. Stones from hellfire. So, ayah number 96, it says, and were it for the people of the villages to believe and to act righteously, we would have opened the gates of heavens and earth upon them. But instead, they belied our message and our messengers. So we have taken them out because of what they used to do of misdeeds. Then ayah 97, have the people of the villages felt safe that our punishment would come unto them while they are asleep? Or have they felt safe from our punishment that may come unto them morning time while they are playing? Have they felt safe from God's plan and God's punishment? Nobody takes Allah for granted except the losing people. I want to go over some of those statements before we move forward. In ayah 97, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, have they felt safe, the people of the villages, that our punishment and our power will inflict them with severe punishment while they are asleep? Embedded in this is the fact that prophets always warn their people against punishment. So in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, after the prophet warns you, how could you feel at peace and sleep at night? Weren't you afraid that our punishment may come to you as you were asleep? Didn't it hit you that something may happen to you when you were asleep? And in the following ayah, ayah number 98, have they felt safe from our punishment that them while they are playing in the early hours of the morning? You know, the duha time, duha, D-U-H-A, duha time is the time between sunrise and noon. This is the peak of the business day. This is the peak of business activities, right? And Allah is calling it not business time. He's calling it while they were playing. Just to give us a perspective, what we call the most serious time in our life, the business time, Allah calls it a playtime. Last night I was commenting on the same concept in the tafsir class at the masjid, at the mosque, and I was saying the reason Allah uses play for the most productive business time in the human life is because the entire life is a play. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَعِبٌ وَلَهْوٌ. This low life of ours, which is called Hayatul Dunya, the low life, is no more than toys and entertainment. So you want to have fun? Have fun. You want to have some pleasure? Have pleasure. Allah doesn't pleasure, being productive or anything else you want. But you have to be serious about who your God is. You have to be serious about whom you worship, who provides you, who saves you, when you need help, who gives you relief when it is tight. Those issues, you have to be serious about them. So, the most productive time of the day, the Quran called it, we should laugh at ourselves when we take ourselves too seriously and take Allah for granted. When we take each other seriously and take Allah lightly, take His word lightly. We should repent and desist before time is over. Then, ayah number 9. I felt safe from the plotting and planning of Allah. No one feels safe regarding the plotting of Allah except the people who are the losers. Then ayah number 100. Has it not been made those who inherit the land after the previous generation, that if Allah wills it, He would shower them with their own affliction, their own sinfulness? And if the ayah is saying, what would stop Allah from sending the punishment right away as we commit the sins, the injustices, the oppression, taking the weak and the helpless, exploiting people, giving people the right? What would stop them? Nothing. So Allah uses the example of previous generations and says, look back at people who, like you, came and succeeded, and they were taken out. The previous generation was taken out. So aren't you concerned that you also are taken out to teach you with a succeeding generation? So don't you think that life is going to stagnate under your feet? Every one of us and every nation lives on a string that is held in the hands of Allah. And that string gets shorter every single day.
We have a question. Can you expand more for the Facebook, what the string is, that concept?
When I said last time, I asked the same question.
I'm sorry.
And I'm repeating it because it's important. Even, don't try to ask. Don't try.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, no, no.
I mean, because
You
we're
should-
watching people on video and they're looking at it, might not be clear. So just explain more.
I will invite the people who are with us on Facebook to send their questions in writing so that we get their questions directly. But I appreciate that you read the issue because it benefits everybody. Okay. I'm saying that every individual and every nation is given a chance to live in the form of a string, like a rope. Is held in the hands of Allah. And every day that goes by, that string gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until your time is over and then you pass away. I hope this is clear. Is it?
Yes.
Good.
Perfectly.
Okay. So, ayah number 101, it summarizes for the Prophet, peace be upon him, the summary of those stories, saying, those villages we have told you about their news, O Messenger. And the messengers have come unto them with clear signs and evidence and miracles. But they were not going to believe in things they have rejected before. And in such a way, Allah seals on the hearts of the disbelievers. So the seal is sealed on their heart because of their disbelief, not the other way around. So when they're given the chance to believe and they argue and they reject and they decide to disbelieve, then the seal is set on their heart, after which they cannot believe no more. Ayah number 102, and we have not found the majority of them committing to any covenant. Indeed, we have found the majority of them disobedient and defiantly so. This is summary delivered to the Prophet as a concluding remark about the stories of the communities that we have went over today. Then it will start a new story, the story of Moses and Pharaoh. Okay, so I would like to give you a chance. We have about 12 minutes for questions. I would like to give you a chance to ask your questions, if you have any. If not, we can just continue. So if you want to stop, we can stop there.
So recently I made a connection to a question that I have. The Prophet Lot.
Yes.
So as I was watching the documentary, it showed.
To call it a documentary, it means it were captured alive. That becomes a documentary. But this is a movie. It is like the Ten Commandments. You cannot call it. It's a movie. Okay.
So that one is was analyzed the people who and the researchers of. So they had people that went to Israel, to the land where that was said to happen, and that real people went and had different rocks that they picked up, and so they were wondering if it's true and if it was still there, if that was the evidence, was it faked, or if it was someplace different on the earth.
I'm lost.
So I was watching the documentary.
So was it the two of us?
No, the movie from academic educational perspective research went over to Israel and to some place there, and they were saying that's where Lot, hellfire came down on him. So they picked up and they were, wondering, the researchers were wondering if that was true. And maybe it was in a different site because that's where the Christians said it was, in this other site. So where Lot happened, it was in a different place. So the question now is, where did it happen on earth?
It happened in the village of Prophet Lot. Whatever this might have been. It's immaterial, the actual place. If it mattered for the story or for the lessons to draw from the story, Allah would have told us exactly. For the people of Ad and Thamud, those people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, you cross by their places as you walk up in the morning. The Arabs used to have two trips. One trip in to the south, which is to Yemen, and another trip, and both were business trips. The other business trip was to the north. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them that as you pass by your journeys for business in the north, you find them to your right side. So the closest we could get to these places is but was it the same like Lot? The Quran doesn't speak about this.
Okay, so one more, Prophet Shuaib.
Yes.
What was the English name for him? Do you know?
Let me try and see. I think his name is Jethro. Jethro. G-J-E-H-T-R-O.
Another question that has been bothering me for a little while. Allah has sent to teach and to get them back onto the right path and worship Him, not any other God. But they were stubborn, so they got punished. And then a new believer group was set up. So how did, and then they, continued on with their path. But it bothered me that when it sinned and failed, they sent for another new community, and it happened over and over and over again. And each one still wavered off the path. Does that still happen today? And it has been bothering me. Because if you believe, then you all should believe if they come from.
Every human being has the freedom of individually.
Okay.
And Allah tells us in the Quran, had He willed it, He would have made all people one community of believers. But He willed that we have our free choice. That was His will. In other words, if He had willed to make everybody a believer by compulsion, He could have done it. But He rather willed that we get our free choice, and it is more beloved to Him that we worship Him with our free choice rather than by compulsion.
So one other thing, there was no compulsion in religion. What is that? So with a play during Ramadan, they explain with actors, and I just wanted to make sure they weren't given the wrong interpretation of, and because of Islam. No compulsion in.
But I'm missing you on the rest of it.
So for deaf people, they have actors, and they talk.
They have. What are you talking about? You said they. I'm not getting what word you are talking.
For a deaf audience, right? For deaf people,
yes,
children, to understand the meaning of sign, it does not work for them because they have no sign. So we act it out, and they can see everything, and they can see the wrong and see the right. So that's how we get with their language. So for me, when they say a word, there's no words in sign language. So when the audience is watching, we ask each other, is that right? I thought that was wrong. And then we get a more explanation of what the Quran says with clear actions. And they have this thing, no compulsion in religion, and it's acted out. And I'm just wondering if, while I'm watching it, if that is the same concept. So, for example, Ramadan. With deaf people, they get actors on stage, and they show what is right and what is wrong. They show what can be done and cannot be done. Because there is no actual word, their mind thinks in pictures. So the picture becomes the actor on the stage. When you hear words in English, you have to put them all together, and then you get this picture in your mind. Well, for them, on a stage. So their mind, instead of succeed on a stage acting out, and they're wondering if that actor is actually doing and accurate in everything, or are they being told something that's not true?
I wouldn't know. You talk about something that you see acted out on a stage, and you're asking if I know.
Oh, they plan on doing it. Sorry. They plan on doing the acting and acting.
Definitely, whether they show anything to you, I'm sorry, whether they are showing anything to you, or speaking it, or sign language, or speaking it as I am doing, it could be true, it could be untrue, it could be accurate, it could be inaccurate. It depends how much knowledge they have. They present this knowledge, whether by sign language, spoken language, or by acting.
They plan on being the actors on the stage. And
I hope I'm not frustrating him.
No. So we're going to be acting on the stage in front of the camera, and we're going to be doing something, and the deaf people will be acting out like what Ramadan is, or these different concepts that you hear, you know. And then suppose that one of the actors is acting out a story with something. Is it an accurate, close depiction of that story?
I understood his question.
So, no compulsion in religion. And we want to make a play around that theme based on the concept no compulsion in religion. So how, I'm thinking what he's asking here is how does he make that in type of
I do not know, I'm not a producer. I cannot pretend I can make an active play for you to exhibit or present. I suggest that you explain it in sign language.
Yeah, that's what the plan is. And I want to avoid any misinterpretations. So with the misinterpretation is compulsion, the word of compulsion. And
so you want to ask about the concept?
Correct.
Okay, it's easy. To compel someone is to use force to coerce the person to do what you want, and instead of doing what they believe. When Allah says, let there be no compulsion in religion, He means that we should let every human being free to choose and worship the God of their choice. Because this is our way as servants of Allah to show our respect for the freedom of choice that has been given to every individual human being by Allah. This is Allah's gift. The gift of reason, the gift of rationale, the gift of conscience. We need to protect that gift of freedom by not trying ever to compel or coerce someone to believe different from what they want to believe. But this does not mean that we do not share the message. It actually means the opposite, that you should share the message and leave the judgment for Allah.
Okay, thank you. So that makes it. So what surah did we stop on?
Yes. Surah number 7. We finished ayah 102, and we will start with ayah number 103.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay.